I think that's when Kobe got hurt. I'm trying to remember what happened. Like me, my friend Marcus, he's a Lakers fan. Like back then, I think I was what? That was like my third year at state. Yeah, because I'd met him not too long after. It was my third year. Because I remember, because I was watching the game, and we were gonna go shoot basketball afterwards. So like everyone knows, like, okay, when this game is over, like you might as well start heading to the gym. And I'll never forget that game because when he got hurt, like the expectations that season getting Dwight Howard and Steve Nash is like you at least have to make the playoffs. Like if you don't make the playoffs, you want to talk about a major monster disappointment.
The little mini super team.
Yep, that never was. Nothing about that team was super. And then when Kobe got injured, like I'm not gonna lie, my eyes just watered because I was just frustrated. Like I could feel his frustration for him. I'm like, all this fighting to get to this point, and you're done. I'm like, who even cares now? You might as well miss the playoffs because you're gonna get swept by the Spurs anyway. And Spurs just dominate them. And Kobe was never the same after that.
Nope. But Kobe was, I felt he was losing his skills at that point anyway.
Yeah.
He wasn't the same.
I agree with that. I'm surprised I didn't bring that up when Wolf was on. I'm gonna have to do that later because Wolf is a big. It's not so much that Wolf is a Kobe supporter, like diehard supporter. It's just like he is. And don't get me wrong, I respect Kobe. I think we talked about this before. I respect Kobe, but it's when certain. I feel like people kind of overrate him a little bit. I just try to be objective about some of the stuff, like some of the things that people knock LeBron for. I'm like, Kobe did too, but you just overlook it because it's Kobe.
I'm very most of the time objective to everybody. Kobe, it's not even that people do overrate him, but it's not even so much that they overrate him. My problem with Kobe is he can't do no wrong. It blew my mind. Yeah, that's what blew me. I couldn't. If you said something about Kobe, you were a hater, so I hated him. Because everybody got on my nerves. Like, yo, you just a hater, Kobe. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just talking basketball. It made me so mad. So I was always the guy on the other side while everybody else praising Kobe.
Yeah, because like Kobe goes, 8 of 29.
20. Yeah, it's 25. This is the usual day for Kobe.
Yeah, and then other people will just get mad, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, he shot like shit.
Kobe needed help. Kobe blah blah blah. Kobe
needs help. Like Kobe needs help. But I'm just looking like, what are you talking about? Like, he shot terrible, or like the worst, the stuff with Phoenix. Well, he needed better teammates. They were up 3-1. They were up 3-1, and this guy quit in the game. Yeah. In the game, he quit. And people are like, oh, well, LeBron quit against Boston. Like, whoa. Okay, cool. I acknowledge that. I also acknowledge he had the bad series against Miami. But then, what about Kobe and Phoenix? What about Kobe and Phoenix? What is that?
Kobe
against Detroit in the finals. What is that?
See, the Detroit one, he played like shit because he didn't want to pass to Kobe. I mean,
pass to Shaq. Shaq was bitching Ben Wallace.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because they tried to guard him one-on-one.
Because like we're not going to double team him. Like, Shaq about to go for 35, 40 points.
It's just that Kobe wanted to prove a point, and they hated each other, so Kobe went passing to him. Phoenix, they could have beat them easily. Kobe literally quit because the media, and I think some teammates told him to pass the damn ball set. So he proved the point. So I remember Game 7, second half, he literally stayed at half court most of the game.
Yep.
Like, y'all win without me. Like,
like basically to show, like, oh, like, see what I have? I'm like, well, what you have got you a 3-1 lead. There's no complaining then. So now it's an issue. Next year, you guys get pasted 4-1. I want to be traded. Like, okay, but that all gets forgotten because of the Paul Gasol heist.
Paul Gasol heist. People always talk about that trade, but okay, because Marc Gasol ended up being good. That was one of the worst trades I've ever seen at the time of the trade. It was all, what's his name? Jerry West. Jerry West was like, here you go, Lakers.
He's like, oh, like, you know what? I saw what Mikhail did for Boston. I got you. That's what that was.
It really was. I guess I don't know. You can call me a hater because I was so mad when that trade went down.
Hell, everybody was. Popovich was mad because there's like, wait, how does this get?
That didn't make no sense.
They were lucky Gasol end up being, or Mark ended up being good. Otherwise, we're looking like.
Kobe demanded a trade that summer. Somehow, magically, Paul Gasol ends up on that team, and the rest is history.
Yep, and everything is forgotten. All negativity about Kobe is forgotten once again.
But you know, the funny thing is, even though LeBron is great, LeBron is getting to that territory now. He's getting to the Kobe territory. You can't talk shit about LeBron either.
Yeah. Once he got the rings, it's like, okay, now that you got the rings, it's almost like they just get plugged in the ears now. Like, okay, he's a champ.
Just like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie want to go, and everybody think he's a fucking retard. I'm like, good.
I think he is too, but hey, like you got your ring. You got your ring, so I'm not gonna be mad at you for leaving.
He wanted to see what he could do by himself, and apparently he never even liked him.
I wouldn't blame him. Like, you signed that big contract thinking you're gonna be the franchise guy, and then you wake up and LeBron's on a team. Like, man, what the hell? I didn't sign up for this. All right.
He did. It was like the next few days too. He just signed. LeBron, I'm coming home.
You probably read that letter like, man. But we'll see now. We'll see. Because he's older. Like, I hear people criticize Kyrie about, like, well, he wasn't winning anything before LeBron came. They're like, okay, like, let's be realistic here. They didn't have shit. Number one, and he was young. Yeah, like, he was just developing as a player. Like, now he's more developed. Now let's see what he does. One thing that I'm just going to say, though, like, please don't be James Harden. You at least give some effort, like a so-so effort on defense.
But James Harden wins.
No, I'm just saying as a player, like on an individual level, play some defense.
Even though James Harden literally, he doesn't even want to play D. He wins to the conference finals without doing that. So that's why I say he wins. So
Fair enough.
That's what it's funny because he literally lets people go past him on purpose.
Man, it is so funny watching him. I'll have to link it for people if they want to watch when it's over. The YouTube highlight of James Harden's like best defensive moments. I'm like, man, it's stuff like that make me feel like I could play in the NBA. Because at least I'm gonna give an effort before you get by me. Like, you're gonna get by me because I'm too small. But I'm not going to play the Olay defense that he does. And he gets away with it. I don't know if Chris Paul is going to put up with that. So,
what's your height? What's your measurables?
I am 6'2". I don't know what my exact wingspan is, but it's longer than it is for the average person my height. And I weigh about, buck 80, 85, trying to get up to 190.
You're a little light on the way, but Chris Paul would get mangled on D because he's too small. You're right.
Yeah, it's like the only position I could defend, like height-wise, is point guard, and I'm not quick enough.
But yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, the point guard.
I could just imagine myself trying to guard Russell Westbrook. I would get hurt trying to turn. He moves so fast, I get hurt trying to turn. Like, well, there goes my ankle, ruptured Achilles, out for season. All right, enough about basketball. I see them in chat, like in the lobby. Basketball's over. You're right, it is. It's been over. It's been over since Kevin Durant signed with Golden State, and it ain't coming back either. Anyway.
If Kyrie goes to the Spurs are winning the championship. I'm just putting that out there.
No, they're not.
I believe it.
I don't care where Kyrie goes, as long as
he goes to the Spurs.
There's only one team in the West that realistically has a shot at beating them. It's not with Kyrie with the Spurs. It's Minnesota.
Nope, Minnesota ain't ready. They don't have a shot. They're too young. Guess who's the best player in the NBA is?
LeBron.
Kawhi. Kawhi is the best all-around player in the game. If you add both sides of the court, nobody's better.
He's a more effective scorer than LeBron. I definitely would give you that. He's a very efficient shooter, but LeBron's still better.
And he's the best defender in the NBA. LeBron's not even a great defender no more. He's average.
LeBron. We'll talk about this off stream. I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you that. But anyway, let's talk some football. My dad in chat is saying this is LFL, not LBL. So, yeah, I gotta listen to what Ghost says. No, I don't want him getting mad at me. That could be an extra touchdown in the regular season. So,
he on the other side. You don't even gotta worry about him no more.
Maybe. But, let's talk about Madden. I have some interesting news. I was wrong when I said RJ had the link. It was actually Hodge. Some of you may find this stuff interesting. I'm going to be paying more attention to the videos in the coming days since it looks like the embargo is off as far as footage. First thing, let's talk about regression.
Woo! The big news! Speed's not going down.
Yes, it is capped. If you get above 80 or you get above 90, that is going to be the cap on regression. So, as an example, we use John Ross. John Ross is what, 96, 94?
98. Oh no, John Ross. I'm thinking about Cincinnati rookie. John Ross. Yeah, he's like 94.
He might be faster, hell. But basically, it's capped at 90. He will never go under 90. Minus one caveat is injury. So if you get injured, that can make it go down.
I'm sorry. Which one is John Ross? That's the big one.
Yes. I can't remember if it's 96, 90. It's 96 speed, 94 or so.
It's 98 speed. John Brown. I'm thinking about John Brown.
Hell, it's with half. They're both the damn same anyway. They both do the same thing. There's a run deep.
Yeah. 98. I'm sorry. 98. He's a game breaker speed.
Yeah, but
his game will never get to 90.
Nope. Never will get to 90.
But
you know what else is important? Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a 90 speed. He'll never go below 90.
Fine. He'll stay at 90.
He'll stay at 90 his whole career.
Unless he gets hurt. Of course, they still say injury. But yeah, they cap it at, if you're over 90, you stay at 90. If you're under 80, you're supposed to stay wherever you are at 80. So if you got an 89 corner, he's supposed to last at 89 throughout his career, unless it's injury.
And that's going to change things for us for two big reasons. The two positions that seem to be the most affected by it. I'll actually will say three: corner, receiver, and running back. Oh my God! Like, you know how painful it was watching Doug Martin die on last year's game? Because after he started regressing, he was he was worthless. There's nothing you can do. Like, you can still break tackles, but you're not going anywhere. How Wolf will manage to last with this guy? This man could barely even run. It's not even
a save. It's borderline. This is a savior for your team because Deshaun Jackson is worthless without his speed. Now you can. He's gonna last you a few years. Now you can get a few more years out of him.
Yep. Brent Grimes, worthless after the first season.
Yep.
That changes now. Cornerbacks around the league, that helps because it's so hard.
I think that's the number one benefit of this because usually corners, they're 28 years old, and you have to be done with them. Yep. Like somebody like, for example, Sherman. Sherman has 87 speed, so after last year, he was done because all you had to do is throw deep on him. So you only got one good year out of him. So
yeah, you couldn't even move him to safety for long because all it is just adding a year. That's all. That speed is like a illness, terminal illness. There's nothing you could do.
And crazy too because I got a couple PMs from a few people too. They were talking about how this changes the way they would have selected their teams. Like I heard a few teams said Seattle and Denver would have been their picks. They stayed away from them because all their stars are 28.
Exactly. So the Broncos with Talib and Harris, because you already know Talib's going to start just dying right away. Yep. Some of those safeties, like an Eric Weddle, who's not like super fast to begin with, have some longevity, and it's going to probably change going forward how people go about building their teams too.
It is. It's big time. Because you can keep people longer, so you don't have to draft people as early as you did before. And so that's going to be huge. Or like looking to trade people, you're not just going to trade somebody because you know this guy's going to die. So let me get him out of here.
Exactly, because it drops the trade value. So now you're able to get something decent. Like I'm not naming any names, but there's some corners that would be out there on trade that without that, you just laugh like I'm not trading.
You gotta get a hell of a lot more.
Yep. Yeah. You'd be able to get legit pieces for it.
Right.
And speaking of corners, I want to talk about the other thing that was interesting to me. The last one is going to be the most, but the second part. So I was watching a video on the draft board. One, the draft board is not 100% like. The way the guy was explaining it, he said that you set your draft board and it will go with it to a certain point. It's not going to 100% follow it because it's kind of a good thing. Because, I mean, how many people are really going to go in and fill out the entire draft board, you know? But it's going to go with it as much as possible relative to what you have set. So if you have a bunch of first rounders set, it's going to try to go with that draft board until they're all off the board. Going as far down as you may.
I love this little addition because how many times where you have 2/3 people at the draft and a quarter can't make it, so now you could actually set your draft board and not have to worry so much about it being randomized. Like you said, it doesn't. From what the guy was saying, because I watched the same video you watched, it might not go exactly, but for the most part. It's going to follow your draft board. So you're going to get, when you get home, you're not going to be shocked to see you drafted something crazy, that, like a position you already have. When you have 3 corners and they drafted a corner, they'll draft somebody that's on your board in the list of your order. So I think that's going to be huge. You don't have to panic as much if you have to work that night or something like that, or you're going out.
Yeah. The other thing that's important to note, too, that he said is just cooldown. So... I mean, you've seen in the past maybe 2 quarterbacks taken in the same draft. Weird, but you'll take the quarterback of your future early in the draft, and middle round or whatever, you'll get another quarterback. Stuff like that will still happen, but it's on a cooldown for position, so you're not going to see like a draft where you have 3 guards or 4 defensive linemen. Like, it's going to actually try to balance the positions that you get. Like, it'll address your needs, but it'll try to balance it as much as possible so you're not getting overloaded with one position so you feel like it's a waste of a draft.
Yeah, there was countless times where it's kind of like, I believe you was talking about this last pod, or maybe it was off pod, but about how there were no quarterbacks in the first draft, or I think that's the position you said, the first or second draft. And maybe was that the position you were talking about, Sam? Do you remember that?
Oh, there's the 2 positions that were the hardest. Like, you had people, I would never say they were tanking. We'll just say that they weren't having good seasons. And they may have been looking at a quarterback potentially in the draft. And then the draft comes out and it's like, oh crap, the combine hits. And it's like, yeah, these quarterbacks suck. So you just... It's all for nothing. The same with cornerbacks. Like, maybe with corners, maybe 2 good corners a draft, maybe 3. Like, solid, And if you're not getting them, if you're not in the top 10, you're not getting them. So, yeah, if you needed those positions, it's kind of rough. From what I saw, like, kind of looking through different videos, which is why it took me a little longer to be on, I don't know if that's something that's going to be adjusted, but I saw more available, like decent corners in the draft than what we've seen in the past. So that's kind of nice. I mean, some people, like, because I play zone, so of course I'm always looking for zone corners anyway. Like, I don't need burners. I just need people that know what the hell they're doing, like, stick to your zone and, you know, have that high awareness.
Yeah, that's going to be.
So that's kind of nice because it was hard finding a second corner if you didn't have one to develop early on.
And it's funny you say that because, like you said, if you didn't have a top 10, even top 5, you could not get a corner or a quarterback because, like you said, usually there was two decent quarterbacks in the draft. They were going top 5, and then if you had corners, that was finishing the top 5. So 2 quarterbacks, and then that one or 2 really good corner. Because, like you said, most of them, the rest of them weren't that talented.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then my favorite piece of information, I want all of you to hear this. When this game comes out, I expect when I see you people streaming, all of you, to be practicing target passing. There's something that I did not know about until I was seeing the video today, and it blew my mind. I know this is going to deflate. Pat was asking, do you have to use it? And I said, no. I lied. You're going to need to learn how to use it, because if not, I see trouble, and this is why. So, when I was shown the game, and they were showing me how to do it, they were showing me how to move the target itself. And they told me you could click through for high. I saw what they called it. That's not what they told me as, but it's being called relative to the body. So it starts out basically like you just have the target, and it's like, okay, you have the neutral, or I don't want to say neutral, like you have, I guess, the normal setting when you activate it, and then you can switch to a high point throw. Like basically you're going to do for your back shoulder fades, a low point throw. Maybe if you're trying to throw, like you're deep in the end zone, you're trying to run like something to the corner and the pylon, the short one. So yeah, they showed me that. That's fine. But then they have this neutral setting, and I was like, what the fuck? No one showed me this. You can click it where basically you have complete control of the target. And the way this works is you literally just move that target wherever you want on the field, and when you press the button to throw, it will take the closest receiver to that target and have them move, like adjust their route to the target. So still, you can't just say like, oh, well, I want to throw to this zone or this area. If no one's there, no one's there. Like, it's still not going to be, it's still not going to be caught. But dude, like, I was just like, the thoughts running in my head about how you'd run offense like that. Cause, I mean, can you imagine if you're playing someone that runs stuff under 10 yards and it's a bunch of crossing routes, and they're just like, as soon as they find the hole in the zone, boom, they just throw it to the spot. It just blew my mind. I was like, I did not know this. And I was I watched a couple videos of these guys doing this. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it's like you have complete control. Awareness or accuracy clearly is going to be a huge role in that, and awareness of the receiver. But oh man, that is some crazy stuff there. Like, it's the people that master that are going to be extremely difficult to beat. Extremely difficult to beat. Playing defense is going to be a lot harder on this year's game.
So what you've seen before, which is the first part of what you said, basically. Is that what you're saying? Like,
it's still around the receiver. Like, okay, he's running say he's running a post route. I could kind of flatten it to a in route. I could extend it to a streak based on how I throw the ball. But this is totally different. It's like,
okay, I got you.
They just, like, you're just moving it to a spot. You clearly would want to try to throw it somewhere near a receiver, but like you just, it's going to be hard to master. It's going to be really hard to master from what I'm seeing, but oh man.
That's what I was about to say, because I seen the second part of the thing you're talking about. It seemed like it was going to be extremely difficult. Because even though you said it's going to be tough to play D, I think that's going to be hard to master, man. Because I think for the entire first season, it's going to be a lot of pick strong. Because people are going to try. Because because from the video I was watching too, the guy was having troubles with it too.
Yeah, True said it's based on the awareness of the receiver.
The thing you have to master too is timing, because even though you want to throw it to a spot, if you don't throw it to it on time, like I said, I was watching the video. The guy threw it to he was running an out, and he threw it to a spot, but he threw it too late, and the DB picked it off. So like, it's gonna take a lot to go into that. So that's something we'll have to see. Because I think for the first year, at least, people are going to be toying with it, and I think it's going to be a lot of picks thrown because of that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. There is one thing that it just really emphasized to me, and it's something that you said when we were talking about most important positions on the team, the defensive line. Because I don't care how good you are, even if you know what defense you're facing on that particular play, if you don't have time, you don't have time. So to me, it just stresses getting to the quarterback even more. Uh-oh. Peanut. Whoops. Crap, I went in there. How did I go in the other chat? Like, what in the world?
Why are you in another chat? Why is she going in another chat?
Alright, that was weird. What's the last thing you heard me say? Wow, that was weird.
I didn't know the last thing I said was also awareness of the receiver is going to have a big impact on that you said.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then the other thing I was throwing out, like, it just emphasizes to me, so when we were talking the first cast, we were talking about the positions, like, we're looking at teams, what positions are most important. It just emphasizes the front four even more, because guess what? If you get pressure, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, hell, Dan Marino, all those quarterbacks, all those great quarterbacks. If you don't have time, you don't have time. Get to a quarterback that's on the gate. And I'm seeing Truth chime in and chat. And that is a good way of looking at it. Every year he starts the game, he makes a quarterback, puts it on all Madden, and just goes until he feels comfortable. Yep. Windows are all fine against the computer, but humans can play outside their assignments, which we all know, which is what makes it difficult. And he says that he sees using this more in streaks and post routes more than over the middle. Good point. Less margin of the margin of error is definitely going to be smaller because you have fewer people generally to worry about back there and more space to work with too.
Because especially in the middle too, like how you were saying that I mean, because there's so many people around the middle, I think that's going to be harder to do because that's all based on timing. So even though, like you said, if you master it, of course, but that's going to be hard because you have to have time. You have to have time, man. Because it's going to be a linebacker. Because you know how in the zone the receiver's passing through it, so you have to hit that hole in the exact spot. Or if you leave it too much, the other linebacker is going to pick that off.
Yeah. That short and middle accuracy is going to be important, Jameis. I hope you're paying attention.
He's like mid-80s and everything, though, ain't he?
Hopefully 90s. But we'll see. Priority number one. But speaking of him, I guess we should talk about the NFC South. It's awkward for me, but of course, since I've been a fan of this division for, forever, this is a division that I know extremely well. My team and others. So, yeah. Where would you like to start, sir?
I might as well go to the NFC champions. The team that just was in the Super Bowl, who should have won the Super Bowl, but they decided to only play 3 quarters of the game.
They have some burn.
The Atlanta Falcons.
have some burn in them, choking in the playoffs.
So Atlanta has a really good team, of course. Matty Ice, the league MVP. He comes in as a 96. That's the best rate on Matt he's ever had. Julio's a 98. I think the best receiver in the game. I think Antonio Brown's a 97. So Julio's a 98 and freaking 94 speed. I think he got faster this year, and that's huge because I remember last year when Burm had him, his speed went down like way before he was supposed to.
He kept getting injured.
Yeah. So even minus the injuries, because I guess anything can happen. That we can't say that, but Julio's going to stay a beast a long time now. But so you got Matty Ice, you got Julio, you got Freeman, who's an 89. I didn't even look at Coleman. I don't even know. I'm not sure what his rating is, but he comes in too. I'm sure he's around 80 something. You got what that O line looking like? Oh, that O line actually is pretty good. Solid. They got 3 guys over the center 91, right tackle 87, left guard 84. They got 3 guys over 80, left tackle 77. Offensive line is better than I thought.
Yep. Yeah, it's not bad. They're a little. A couple of those guys are a little older, but it's definitely still very manageable.
We all know their offense is going to have. They're going to be hard to stop that offense, especially when you got a bailout guy like Julio. You could just throw it to it in case of emergency.
You got a possession receiver in Sanu. And don't forget, in the slot, the guy that bust on the scene last year, Gabriel. Forget that guy. Coleman is just, since you brought him up, I believe he's 94 speed, 92 excel. And then a decent catch. So he's actually, unfortunately, a little faster than Freeman. That's
What's his overall rating?
It is an 85.
What's his overall rating?
85. Freeman's is 89.
Oh, so that's crazy. So they got.
It's not much of a drop off.
2 starter running backs. That's gonna. Both of them can catch, like you said. Both of them explosive. Coleman even more explosive. Freeman just got locked up too in the real life, so I think that's going to translate to Madden too. He just got a new 5-year deal. I think that was yesterday. Their defense is pretty good too. They got Desmond Trufant comes in at an 89. They got a young guy you can develop. Last year, first round pick Jalen Collins is a 79. Vic Beasley, I like him. I like him a lot. I'm surprised. I thought he'd even be higher than an 83, but he's an 83 overall. You got who is it? The D tackle Grady Jarrett's an 82. He's only 24 years old. Another D tackle Poe, who they picked up from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a pretty good run stopper. He had a better year the year before, but he's only a 79 now. But I still like him.
Yeah, he'll be pretty solid. You got young Allen at safety. And Neal. Got 2 solid safeties you can build with. The defense is really young. All you gotta do is build them up. The pieces are there. Just gotta build them up.
All you gotta do is build them up, and like you said, they're already ready now. So this Atlanta team has the best talent, and of course they are going to have the best talent because they're just coming off the Super Bowl. And honestly, like I said before, they should have won that Super Bowl, but Tom Brady greatness showed, I guess.
They choked. There's a mixture of a lot of things, play calling being one, but I'll leave it alone. I don't want Burn being the main one. I don't want Burn PMing me. I don't want to, make him leave again, bringing back bad memories. That was just a really rough game to watch.
I'm not gonna lie. That game was great. Because what I seen Tom do, I'm not gonna lie. At 40 years old was amazing. That was amazing.
All I'm gonna say is I have 2 friends here, like that usually come over a couple times a week that are both Patriot fans. I went up to Palm Springs to watch it with my uncle and my cousins. I stayed up there as long as I could. I was not trying to come back and see them. I'm just being flat out honest. I was not trying to come back. I waited as long as I could before I made that drive back because I just felt like it just made me feel just sick to my stomach. Like, you guys had this game, and I could count on a couple of different plays. That's like, why? Like, you should have did this instead, or you could have did this instead, and you lose.
Oh yeah, Atlanta. No, Atlanta. Push come to shove, Atlanta choked the game. But that's the reason why. And like you said, play calling was one of the biggest things. Maybe Freeman the injury deterred them from running the ball, but who knows why they didn't run the ball? They still had Tevin Coleman, like we just explained how good he is. But everybody's baffled by the play calling. Let's move on from Atlanta. We talked about them enough. So let's go with the other team, the other last team that went to the Super Bowl. Might as well stay with them. Carolina Panthers, very disappointing year. Everybody expected more out of them, but
not in Madden.
Luke Kuechly. I want to talk about Luke a little bit before I even talk about the other pieces. Some of his plays are amazing. Like he comes in at a 98 overall, the best middle linebacker / coverage linebacker in the game. He has 96 awareness with 80 catch for a linebacker. 80 catch, 98 tackle. Like you were talking about, what's his name? The Pittsburgh middle linebacker, Ryan. Shazier has 98 catches. Luke Kuechly has 90 catch. 92 block shed, 97 pursuit, 76 man, 87 zone, and 96 play recognition. Like, it does not get no better than this guy.
Hit power at 93.
He could cover.
He has better cover skills in some corners. That's start.
He does. And it's funny because it's in real life too. Like, I remember, I don't know, this is like a really big highlight that it's when Julio Moss, it was like he mossed Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
But to me, that play showed me more about Luke Kuechly.
The fact that he was able to get back there.
They were in the cover too. Luke read the play and ran. I don't know how he was able to run with Julio. He's in the middle of the field. This was just the streak Julio ran. Luke gets there. Like I said, of course, Julio makes a great play because he's freaking amazing. But a linebacker was basically on him. To me, that showed more about Luke. That play was amazing to me.
I'll give you another one. Thanksgiving a couple years ago when they played the Cowboys. Romo had a really shitty game that day because he threw a lot of picks. But I'll be damned, Kuechly, I believe, picked 2 off. It wasn't the pick. It wasn't the pick 6.
I got you.
It was. I was like, how did he get back there? And I'm like, people were like, that was a terrible throw by Romo. I'm like, no. That was a good throw. That play was crazy. Like, I jumped out my chair. Like, we're done. Yeah, I was so mad when the Panthers drafted this guy. He is so good.
And from what I remember, it was literally back to back. Like, I think he got a pick 6 on that one play, and then I think it was at least 2 or 3 plays later, like you said, that play. That was a great play, because people said that was a bad throw. No, Luke came out of nowhere. Once again, he got back so down. Like, he covered so much ground. He's like that frustrating Madden player, like, when he covered 3 players in the middle of the field.
Yep. And that's what Truth said. He said that makes defense so much easier. Don't touch him. You could play the line or safety with no worries about the middle with him. Yep.
No worries at all. Like, you should never use a Luke Kuechly. Just keep him in the middle of the field and let him roam. He, like you said, and I love about Luke too. Like, a lot of linebackers, when the offensive line gets to the second level, and if the linebacker doesn't come through free, he's not going to make the tackle because he can't shed a block. Luke, 92 block shedding, he can bounce off and make the tackle. This is exactly why he ends up, you see the inner games on Sunday, he has 15 tackles. You're like, how? Because he knows how to get off. Then when a guard gets to him, he sheds it, which I think is one of the hardest things to do. When those 300-pounders get their claws on you.
Yeah, it's just when he misses a tackle, I'm surprised. Honestly.
Because he barely ever does it.
Yeah.
And he has so much range, too. He goes sideline to sideline. He has the speed. And while we're talking about Luke, I'm not going to short on his counterpart, Thomas Davis, who I believe, he's older.
Still
Guy's
going.
A baller.
Still going.
He's a baller. I think he tore 2 ACLs early in his career. Mm-hmm. And over the years, he's got stronger. He's gotten better as he got older. He's a really good coverage guy. He's a really good too against the run too. Like, straight. If you talk about coverage linebackers, where you're not talking adding in pass rushing and everything. These two are the best combo in the league, I believe.
Yep, I would totally agree.
Not adding pass rushers. These two straight stand up coverage linebackers are the two best in the game. And a young guy too, Shaq Thompson, look out for. He's an 83. So they have three really good coverage linebackers, which honestly nobody in the league has.
Yeah, it's hard to find that. 4-3 is usually a down. It's usually a weakness for people.
Yeah.
For the Panthers, it's not, because these guys have the speed. They can cover some of those. We talked about the tight ends that can cause havoc in the middle. You may have trouble getting some of those high throws.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that middle of the field is a scary place to go. 4-3, very, very scary.
And what a position of weakness that they have that they got? I mean, but it's not too bad now that I'm looking at it. They got rid of Josh Norman last year, but they have James Bradbury. He's an 81. Captain Monover. He's old, but he's still an 80 overall. So their corner's not too bad. It's like you said, it could use some work next year because I know Captain's really old, but it's not too bad. They could last for a year. A position that everybody's going to be interested in because he was one of the hype guys though, is Christian McCaffrey, the running back that they drafted this year, I think number 7 overall. He's a weapon. The way he can be used with his catching, his speed, his elusiveness. He was very hot in the draft coming out.
Yep, has a top 5 catch rating for all running backs. And he's faster, so it makes for a nice Thunder Lightning tandem with Mr. Stewart.
And Mr. Stewart, yep. That offensive line isn't that bad either. Left guard 84, center is 81, left tackle 78, right guard 77. So they got 2 80s. And Cam comes in at the last year MVP as an 88 after he had that down year. Greg Olsen still got it. What he comes in as a 92 overall.
And the scary part.
Not that bad. Yeah, Panthers not that bad.
Then the one thing that they also have that a lot of people don't have, their receivers. So first of all, I want to say the drafting of Curtis Samuel is going to be a nightmare. Pretty much, it's like McCaffrey has a receiver. Having him and McCaffrey on the field at the same time in passing situations is a nightmare. There's 2 fast guys, quick guys you have to worry about. But on the edges, Benjamin and Funchess, they're so big. It is hard to match up with those guys.
Yeah, 6'8" basketball players. Yeah, they're humongous.
Yep. It's going to be a nightmare.
No corner is that tall. It very rare has like tall corners on the outside to match up with those guys. Let's look at those New Orleans Saints.
And as Truth nicely put, that they are basically a Division II All-Star team.
So, I want to start with their strong point, which I didn't know that it was this good. I'm going to start with this offensive line. They have 4 guys over 80. Left tackle is an 85. Right tackle is an 85. Center, 84. Right guard, 81. And the only guy that comes in less than an 80 is the right tackle, who's a 78. So, their offensive line is not too bad.
And very high awareness.
Very high awareness. Drew Brees coming back as a 92. Then you got the running back, Mark Ingram, 84. And the receivers, even though they lost Cooks, they still have Michael Thomas, comes in at an 84. Willie Snead, who's an 81. And it always seems like no matter who the Saints throwing it to anyway, they're always going to have a productive offense. Yeah. So they always move the ball. Cody Finger comes in as an 82, also a tight end. So the offense is pretty good. The offense is, like I said, they're always going to put up numbers. The problem is this defense.
That's always been the case in the Drew Brees era.
They have no linebackers at all. The best linebacker comes in as a 77, Craig Robinson. I'm not even sure who he is.
Okay, what about Manti? Alright, I'll stop.
I seen him. I didn't want to bring him up.
I had a joke, but I'll just leave it alone. Like, he needs to...
I just throw it out there.
No, it's alright. They, by far, to me, the weakest linebacking group in the NFL. On paper.
Yeah, they don't have it.
On paper.
Their corners, I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, the first round pick this year, had 94 speed and 76, so that's definitely a bright spot right there. Somebody to look forward to. Mm-hmm. You know, that's one corner lockdown, and I mean, this defense, there's not much talent on this defense. They got Jordan Cameron, the right end. He's a 92. They don't have a left end. D tackle Sheldon Rankins, he was our first round pick last year. He comes in at a 78, but they don't have another D tackle. Safeties is Von Bell. They have him. He's a 74, and then they got Kenny Vaccaro, who's an 82. But like I said, the weakness of this team, and the weakness have been for the last 4 to 5 years, is this defense. And they're going to give up a lot of points again this year. Their offense can score, but they have to score so much, and then Drew Brees starts throwing interceptions because he's throwing the ball so much. So, like I said, the last basically 5 years, it's been defense with this team. And that's something they still didn't fix.
Yep. I will say this, though. This is a very unknown group here. Obviously, Ingram and Peterson on offense. And go back to offense for a little bit.
Oh, offense.
So they got that other guy, Mr. Peterson. So with that offensive line, they're going to be able to run the football a little bit more. But it's not even Peterson that I would be worried about. A little advice. You have the running back that they drafted, Kamara. He is not as fast as Peterson as far as speed. He's a couple ticks under, but he's a good receiver out the backfield. So the running back position could open up a lot of doors for the Saints on this game because with the offensive line being rated so well, kind of take some of the pressure off of Drees. And more importantly, when you don't have a good defense, what you like to do is kind of shorten the game so they're not out there as much. So it makes the other team, puts more pressure on them. Like how it is, when you play Peyton Manning, Rodgers, Brady, those guys, you want the game to be short because with fewer plays, it's a little more pressure for them to be successful in those plays. So any turnovers you're able to get are going to mean a lot more when you have fewer possessions on both sides of the ball.
Something you brought up too, because I totally forgot about it. It's been so long since he signed. What you think about Adrian Peterson, though? Do you think he's going to have a big year this year? Or do you think that he's over the hill?
Are we talking Madden or are we talking real life?
I'm going real life. More in real life.
Peterson has to show me something. Me and my dad have talked about it a lot because my dad's a Vikings fan. So, of course, he was sad to see him go. For me, honestly, I thought the best fit, and it's not because I'm a fan, I thought the best fit would be Tampa because we play a more traditional style offense than the Saints do. I don't know what it is about Peterson, but he can't run without a fullback. Or I don't want to say he can't run, that's disrespectful, but he statistically runs better with a fullback than he does without a fullback. The Saints they have used it from time to time. I've seen usually one game that we'll play them, they'll run a lot of heavy stuff and it does cause problems because the play action game is a much more viable threat, but he's going to see I feel like he'll see a lot of sets where he's going to be the lone back in shotgun, and that's just not been his strong suit. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that the young guys will have, Kamara I think will end up having a more, I won't say productive season, but a more impactful season than what Peterson will have for the team.
And to second your point, I think more harsh than you. One, I think he's over the hill. Two, I think it's a terrible fit because, like you said, the style of the Saints, even though some games, like you said, they will pound it, but we all know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is going to sling it around. Adrian, has never been a good blocker. For a majority of his career, he could not even play on third down. Never been a catcher.
Yep.
And in order to stay on the field with the Saints, I don't care how great you are, you have to protect Drew Brees because he's going to sling it around. You have to be able to catch. Adrian, and like you said,
not do well.
And he's better with a fullback in front of him. Just statistically, it's a fact. So I don't think he's going to have. I'm not going to say he's not going to be productive because he's going to score around the goal line, but I don't think he's going to be Adrian Peterson. I don't think he's going to be half of Adrian Peterson. I think that's why they got all these backs. Now, Marshawn Lynch, I think, is going to be good. Yeah. Adrian, I think, is going to be
And it just blows my mind that they would add another running back. Because if I remember right, they did it after the drafts. Like, you already drafted a running back, so you get it. But then your defense needs pieces, and you spend valuable cap space that you don't have a lot of to get another guy at running back when you already have some. Don't understand the logic there.
One of those splashy ESPN headliners.
And that's why the Saints probably won't be in the playoffs again.
But I'm defense cool is not there. I'm fine with that. Now, let's talk about Hard Knocks team. That's on this year. Tampa Bay. I'll start off with their leader, the crab stiller, Jameis Winston comes in at an 81. Now, this rating shocked me because I thought he'd be a little higher. He had a pretty good year. I was thinking he would come in around an 84, 85. But talking to you earlier, you weren't surprised. You were like, why did it surprise you he came in at 81? Because I thought he had a pretty productive year last year.
Numbers-wise, he had a productive year. But knowing what matters knowing what matters in the Madden rating, that is why he does not. And I pull it up right now. His accuracy, short 85, medium 81, deep 78. Jameis missed many deep balls last year.
Deep pass.
Many deep balls. And some are understandable because we don't have a great offensive line, so he didn't get the time to really, set his feet and get the ball out there. But when he did, he still missed them. To Evans, to our other no-name receivers that no one besides me will know. And the passes over the middle, he struggled with, and it goes to the same thing. We had Evans. Cameron Brate really became an option by default. Like, no disrespect to Cameron Brate, but there was no one else reliable to really throw the ball to as far as being able to get open. And Brate had a good season, so it was much needed for James and also to take some pressure off of Evans because he was all we had. Vincent Jackson, even when he was healthy, did not get off to a good start that year. We had no other receivers, really. So he struggled because when you don't have guys that are getting open, you have to be accurate with the ball. He was not. And it's something that's pretty much his next stage of development. If he's going to be what people hope that he will be in Tampa land, he's going to have to improve his accuracy. That if he does that, sky's the limit, but still need to see him do that.
You got Doug Martin returning. He's a 83 overall. You got his weapon, his big time weapon, Mike Evans, who's a monster playmaker on the outside. He comes in under 90 overall, and they got this new toy, Deshaun, who's he got 94 speed. Mm-hmm. So, like you were talking about, he's not. Jameis has the burner to take the top off now, and somebody I like too. I actually like y'all slot receiver Humphreys. He won't
be for long. I can tell you that right now. He won't be for long.
I like him though. I don't know why. I think it's because he had a good game versus us. Because I know he's not that good, but I think he had like 9 catches against us. If I can remember our game, it was either our game or I was watching some game. He had hella catches. I'm like, oh, this is a decent slot receiver. But anyway, I know he's not going to be a main target because somebody I think is going to be key and have a breakout year. You already talked about your tight end, Cameron. He comes in at an 83 overall, and then you got OJ, the rookie, comes in at an 82 overall. He's going to be a beast.
That's all I will say, because I totally agree. I totally agree.
Let's turn around and look at that defense there. Wait. Before I say that, let's look at that offensive line.
Let's not. Move along.
So the right guard comes in at 85. The right tackle 80. Okay, that's decent. And then it goes down from here. Like I said, we all know the Buck. That's one of the Bucks' struggling points. They're gonna have to fix that because as Sam was talking about earlier with Winston. Winston needs help with the offensive line, and that's something that the Bucks are going to have to fix. Now let's turn around to that defense. Something that shocks me, the first thing I want to go to, and I don't understand it because I love the guy. What's up with Levante rating? Like, being a Bucks fan, why is he only at 84 now? Because I personally think he's better than that.
I do too. But he has struggled adjusting. He caught on towards the end of the season. When he played in Greg Schiano's defense, he was able to be more aggressive. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say more of a pass rusher, but he used to just be able to play more off of instinct. Great player. With Mike Smith's defense, that role has shifted to Quan. He has to think a little bit more. Not that he's incapable of it, but I feel like in the beginning, like the first half of the season, it was the adjustment.
More.
Yeah.
I got you. Instead of reacting.
Yeah. So he had a better second half of the season, especially came on strong the last 6 games. But it is an adjustment period. I think on next year's game he'll have a better rating. But I could understand why his rating dipped on this. And I will not argue it.
Hey, somebody you brought up, I really like Kawan. He comes in at an 80 overall. He's very athletic. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a sneaky man player for you this year. Of course, you got McCoy in the middle, and Baker comes in next to him at an 84 overall. Ayers on the outside comes in at an 80 overall. And what's your other DN? I didn't even write him down.
It could be either Golston or Spence. Spence would be the pass rusher.
Spence would be right. Corners, y'all corners look like ours. I didn't realize it was this bad though. But he got DH3. He's only a 75, and then you got Josh Robinson who won't be there next year. He's a 72 overall. I thought y'all corners would be better than this. It looked like our corners. So the Bucks have a problem too. They don't have corners.
I got nothing. Because we don't.
I thought VS3 was gonna be rated higher than this. I'm talking all this stuff about how Eagles don't have corners. Bucks are struggling for corners too.
I think it was Fogel that was quick to point out to me that he had close to the most pass attempts thrown on him, which, you know, some people say it's a bad thing, like pretty much baptism by fire. He also struggled early on in the season, came on late, but that to me, if more than anything, it speaks to how good of a season Grimes had, which I wasn't expecting.
Rest.
Grimes, oh my goodness, yes, you were not. I remember that. He was so mad he joined the team because of his wife,
Mr. Miko.
Grimes had a really good year, but I'm okay with that as a rookie because I think corner is the hardest position to. I think this year is more of a telltale of what type of player he's going to be because coming into the league as a corner, and like you said, getting that many balls thrown your way, especially when you got a productive guy on the other side, I think it's just growing pains. But I still think he has the ability to be a great player. Because like being a rookie, it's hard to tell because you're going to go through growing pains.
Yeah, he just had to. I feel like he had to have his slate clean. One play I'll remember a lot was at the. I mean, I'm a Kentucky fan as well as a Nebraska fan for football. Well, state too. Like those are 3 colleges that I like. And I saw him play, you know, at Florida because he's in the conference. You know, he's in the SEC East with Kentucky. So I saw a lot of them. So when I heard that, you know, he was going to be on the radar for the Bucks, paid attention to him a little bit more, you know, scouted him a little bit more. One thing that they said is like he plays with his instincts a little too much and he can get beat on double moves. Wouldn't you know, the first drive the Falcons have the ball, double move, Mohamed Sanu, like a 47-yard catch, and I just started laughing. I'm like, well, someone was looking at the tape. Good job, Shanahan. But he has size, the lack of size, but hell, Grimes does too. Good instinct player. I think he'll be fine in the long run.
And I don't. Do you want to give your prediction?
Of what?
The division winner and everything. I'm not sure if you wanted to. Were you adding yours into this division? I know at first you didn't even want to be a part of it.
I really don't. I feel like I feel like talent-wise, the Saints are going to have the hardest time to win games because even though they have some talent on offense, you have to have defense on that. And at some point, even if you have to have defense, like there's very few times. I know RJ didn't have great corners last year with Miami, but it's hard to be successful without having talent on one side of the ball. And they don't really have talent to develop right now this first season, so I feel like it's going to be hard for him to win games. No one knows anything about him. He could surprise all of us. But I feel like so much invested in the offense, just the extra pressure. There are three very solid teams defensively in this division. In another division, maybe, but I feel like he will have a hard time winning games. I have the Saints in last.
My fourth, same as yours, Saints. Baseball guy, I don't know much about them, so I can't go off of that. So I got to go off the roster. Saints can't stop a cold. They just don't have the defensive talent. Offensively, yeah, they'll be fine and everything, as we said. They could score, but you're going to have to score a hell of a lot of points because they can't stop anybody. In order to win, you got to be able to stop somebody. So, Saints 4. Number 3. Number 3 is actually hard. Go ahead, you can go first because I'm actually still thinking.
I know I'm probably going to regret this because he's probably going to have like 200 yards receiving each game.
Julio.
I'm going to go with the Falcons finishing third, even with all those pieces on defense. It's the trap. It's the trap. They have the pieces on offense. They do. They do. But it's the Julio effect. You get seduced by this man because he can make so many plays. And you almost fall into the trap of force feeding him the ball. Like I used to joke with Berm a lot, and yes, Berm did throw to Julio a lot. But the difference was Julio wasn't only getting streaks. And you're right, he should. But Julio, the route tree was a little more open than it would be with other guys. That is the difference. If you're not going to throw it to him short, you make it really easy to guard because you just throw a safety back there. The other guys, I mean, I know that he has... have a young tight end. He's not super fast. You got the young, speedy guys, but it's that and the fact that if you remember on last year's game, no offense, Devo, T.Y., Moncrief, Dorsett, and Andrew Luck, and that offense was not as productive as it could have been. So you're coming from a good situation to a similarly good situation with a little less speed, though obviously Julio is going to be far superior to those guys. They have a defense that he didn't have in Indy. I think that he's just gonna. I think the Julio effect is gonna hurt his offense. And you have to cut down on turnovers. I know he had a lot last year with Luck. I can't imagine, as good as Matt Ryan is, I can't imagine him being like leaps and bounds better than what Andrew Luck was. So I just feel he'll turn the ball over too much, and with those guys, it can hurt.
My third. Shoot. You made good points. My third. Damn. That team is really good. I'm just looking at the Falcons. Can I put them there? You're right, though. All right. Devo, offensively, he does throw a lot of picks. I mean, Luck was terrible last year. I mean, I think Luck had like 5 touchdowns and 38 picks. And then Devo goes into games tipsy and everything. So I was going to put the Panthers here. I can't. Falcons, you got to go here. Look, Debo, you got to stop drinking before games, man. Like, I need you to. You have Julio. I was going to put you second, but you always drunk. I can't do it. Like, Falcons have the best roster on the game. I need you to get focused. Stop going into games drunk and leaving, not performing, man. But you're right. I mean, the defense looks pretty good, but Ryan has to play ball, and I don't know if Debo can score with this Falcons team, even though he has Julio, because like you said, with luck, he didn't show it, and he had Ty, he had what's the other receiver name? I can't even get his name out.
Dante Moncrief.
Yeah, Moncrief, and he couldn't really move the ball. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you show me different, Debo. But right now, I got you third with the stacked Atlanta Falcons, and it hurts for me to say. I know I'm going to hear it later, but it is what it is.
I will too.
So number 2 is obvious because I basically told him myself. I go with Carolina Panthers and Prophet because Carolina has a squad. Prophet he didn't play last year because he didn't like the game or something, and he took the year off or whatever. He came in towards the end and then left again. So you got to show me that you're invested in this game. To me, like I said, I watched the video. Man, looks great. So I know you were good with the Packers before, and you have another good team in Panthers. So I want to see if you're committed back, and if you're committed back, you can make a run with this team. But right now, I have Carolina too. So Sam, who do you have too? I know you're not going to put yourself one. So Bucks, right? Yep.
Here's the problem. What you said about Prophet, I didn't get to play Prophet when he had the Packers. So me and Hodger kind of talked about it and said that he played him a couple times in the playoffs, and he of course played him a couple times in the regular season. I'm trying to remember who else was in his division. I believe Eric had the Bears. Rest in peace, Eric. Fly Guy had the Vikings. And I don't remember who had Detroit. So I can't... I don't know how good Prophet is. I haven't had the opportunity to play him because the one time we would have been able to play, it just had to be sim because we just, like, I was working, he was working, and our schedules didn't mix. So we never got to play, so I don't know. I know he had good, he's a good user middle linebacker, which leaves me curious to see how he's going to play defense because, I mean, you would leave Kuechly alone to the computer, right?
Yep.
So I have to look on paper for this. The Bucks' biggest weakness is their secondary.
Yep.
And it's one because of talent and the fact that the safeties are fucking garbage, and also the fact that they're small. Greg Olsen is big, Funchess, Benjamin, big. And you have the slot receiver and you have the slot running back. No one is going to believe me for saying this, because I already see Pat typing in chat. I'm actually going to put myself second. I can be a little objective here. The one problem that I know for sure I have the most is throwing interceptions. And it's not because I throw more interceptions than I should. Now, granted, I'm able to play decent defense to get the ball back some, but I throw too many interceptions, and I know it. And Z can attest, because he's got a lot of wins against me because of interceptions. Because when it comes down to that last moment, I feel confident going in. Like, I want the ball at the end of the game. Doesn't matter. It's like Kobe. I want the ball, and I want to shoot the ball, too. Kobe misses a hell of a lot. I throw a lot of interceptions. It is what it is. The fact that the Panthers have a really good front four, still, and I have a weak offensive line. He's going to be able to get pressure. He's going to be able to force me to throw the ball quicker than I would like. Do I have multiple weapons? Yes. But I feel like it's a bad matchup in its current form. Offensive line will be worked on, believe me, as will the safeties. But as it stands now, just like it was last year, that Panthers are such a tough team to play because they are built to play against my style of offense. And I think that's going to help profit out this first year for sure.
My number one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're so full of shit.
The reason I have them is because the most well-rounded owner, and even though they don't have the most talent, he knows how to work with that talent. I believe that, yes, some games interceptions happen. I believe he does not turn it over too much because, like I said, interceptions happen, big games, whatever. Sometimes it happens. Everybody throws an interception. Like, I believe it's the most well-rounded. He can throw the ball. I like his. It's going to be fun to see what he does with this 2 tight end set. But the reason I ultimately have him because I've never seen him miss the playoffs since I've been here. He's always a steady there. Did good with the Bucks last year, so I expect him to do good with the Bucks this year.
Yeah. I'd obviously have the Panthers number one. It's just they have. You talk about the offense of the Bucks being well rounded, and they are, and there will be a lot of 2 tight end sets because I run that a lot, even with the Bucks last year, and when I had the Colts with Allen and Fleener. But I'm gonna run I'm just gonna base my offense on the personnel, so I have 2 tight ends. That's what I'm gonna run. The Panthers are very, very flexible. You have 2 big receivers, like I said, so that's a mismatch at all times. You have Olsen, who is a pretty solid blocker too, so play action will also make him a threat. But then Samuel and McCaffrey just add 2 different dimensions that the Panthers really haven't had. I know they had Ginn last year. He was decently rated on the game, but I feel that I just feel like Samuel is going to be the best version of Ginn that Cam could have had. And plus Cam, it's always tough to deal with a dual threat quarterback. Madden is generous in that they probably don't fumble as much as they may in real life. Cam is a monster.
Cam don't fumble in real life.
Yeah, he is super tough to bring down. He is super tough to bring down, and just the added threat of him running is going to change how people play defense, and it just makes those receivers and those guys that much more dangerous because you have to bring pressure with that offensive line to get to him. Cannot let him sit back there because once he starts moving, it's hard to bring him down. And that defense, like I said, you have the best group of linebackers in the game. While their secondary may not be great, they have a good front four that is going to get pressure.
And a good front 7.
Yep.
So like you said, they kind of negates that a little bit.
Yeah, I know there's some teams that have a better, I'd say probably like stronger players on the line, but collectively, I think for me, it's the best front 7 in football. They're very flexible.
I can't disagree with that. Right off the bat of the head, they're definitely up there.
Yep, they do it all well. They can play the run, play the pass. They get after the quarterback. They do everything really well. And they're good tacklers. Even though their secondary is not great in coverage, they tackle really, really well. The fundamentals, they have that down in Carolina.
They do tackle really well. The entire team tackles really well. That's funny. Yeah, that's one of Tampa problems. They don't tackle really well.
That's the only, honestly, looking at the ratings, I don't want to bag on Tampa Bay because I feel like it may come off as complaining. But I'm a Bucs fan, of course. I was really curious about the ratings. I have no idea how Quan Alexander has a tackle. His tackle's not rated higher. Man's a tackling machine. I'm gonna pull it up because when I saw it, I was like, "That's it." So first of all, the Monday night game or the Thursday or Sunday night game against the Cowboys, like they're one of their first like true national televised showcase games. He had 21 tackles. He's all over the field. He's always over the field. This is what he does. I think I deleted it. Let me go back. because I had all the teams up and I deleted, X'd out as we went. The Bucks, Alexander. Let's see. Tackle. Where's it at? Okay, am I just not seeing it? 81. I don't know how much higher you can go than that, but I was very shocked that it was only 81. Because he is our best tackler. He's by far our best tackler on the team.
I know that. Yeah, I know he is.
I think he set the. I think he had the record, or not the record. He finished 4th all time for the Bucks for most tackles in a season last year, and he had the most solo tackles of any Buccaneer defensively. And you already know who comes to mind with that because he was all over the field too. So to me, that's like super high praise. I just am really surprised he only had an 81 as a tackle. And honestly, that's my real only complaint about the Bucks. Marpet, when they update the roster, he'll be moved to center because he's going to play center for the Bucks this year. So I expect that they'll update that. And the offensive line's still going to be shit, but at least he'll be there. I don't have to move him to center to try to manipulate anything. That's the position he's playing. So,
question: I want to just because you're a Bucks fan and that's a team you follow. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about them this upcoming season? Do you feel like they have a chance to actually win a division?
Yes, I do.
Scared of Atlanta?
No.
Really? You think the Bucks can do it this year?
Yeah, they had a rough game on Thursday Night Football. Well, hell, Burm, as always, quick to remind me, 56-0. They have their issues in primetime games. And they did against the Falcons those last two. But then you look at, they opened the season last year against the Falcons when everybody was healthy across the board. They went into Atlanta and they won. The season before, they swept Atlanta. Everyone healthy across the board relatively. Atlanta doesn't scare me. Carolina is always the team that scares me because they are, I honestly feel like they're built to play the Bucks best. They get pressure and the effect that it has on our offense. We had 2 dogfights against them last year, one with Cam, one without. Carolina is always a super tough game. The Saints is just, Breeze plays a dud in one of them. He'll throw 3 picks in one, and it is what it is. And then the other one's going to be tough because we, have to kind of fight our way through. We were in the game in New Orleans all the way through. The only reason the game in Tampa was close was because our dumbass kick returner muffed the ball at the damn goal line. Should have just let the ball go out the end zone. He muffed it out the 1, and next play is a safety. The game should have been over before then. But the offensive line is a concern, and I need to see the back too. I hate Chris Conte so much. I really, really do.
I know you do.
Justin Evans and Wilcox, to me, were not upgrades at safety. I really wanted Budda Baker, but if Evans can supplant him and take his spot, that would be helpful. Conte's not bad. Like, he's just like a middle-of-the-road guy. He's not fast. He's not big. He doesn't do anything really well. He has good instincts, but when you're slow, you're a step behind. They have the other pieces, and I feel like with them being in in Mike's system for a second year now, maybe it'll help everyone else across the board so this defense can really start off the season on a good note. Because last year they had a rough start on that side of the ball.
Oh, man, I didn't know. I almost forgot. So, question. I forgot you were in this division. Who scares you the most out of your opponents? Is it the team that you have winning the division, the Carolina Panthers and Prophet? Is it Julio with Debo, just because he's Julio? Or are you a little afraid of that Saints offense?
It would be the Panthers because of the defense. I don't know how Prophet plays, so I play people better the more that I get to see them because I'm not like Wolf where I watch tape. I'm a like a mental tendency guy.
Get a rhythm. Yeah, when you're playing them.
Yes, like I see what they like to do. I actually like start out the game calling certain things because I want to see how they react, and then I just make adjustments throughout the game. Every game is different to me. But that defense is something to be careful of because those linebackers are going to be tough, and I have always struggled running against them. I played them last season with Asher. Every game I played against the Panthers, I struggled to run the football. I think Doug had like 1,400 yards the first season. Didn't even top 50 yards total in the 2 games against the Panthers. Could not move the ball against them on the ground. And you still have to run it. And you need your 10 rushes, but you can't let them just sit and just tee off on your quarterback. It just didn't matter. Like, I was just running the ball just for the sake of running the ball. Like, I could not get any yardage. That worries me.
Who least worried you in this division?
The Falcons.
The drunk kid?
The Falcons.
So, Devo least worried you, huh?
I don't care how many yards Julio Jones gets. It's the Moss effect. I already concede a touchdown when the game starts to Julio because he'll make one of those catches that will you just kind of like, you'll be frustrated, but you just kind of like, whatever, it's Julio. He'll have at least 1 or 2 of those a game. One for a touchdown, probably another one to set up a field goal. That's 10 points right there. You come in with that mindset, you got to put up points. Just can't turn the ball over.
Okay, so you can see points to Julio, the best receiver in the game, 10 points. So the Falcons are loaded, of course. So are you just trying to say Deebo sucks? Like, what's the deal?
He's got some bad habits he's got to get out of.
What habits is that, Sam?
Turnovers. Turnovers and taking sacks. That too. I mean, but hey, like, there's some people that I won't name any names because I don't know who might be listening out there, but there's some people that like to have a smoke before the game or whatever they have to do to get relaxed and in the moment. Like, it is what it is. Everybody has their thing. I probably I eat some ice cream some games before I play just to kind of relax me. So it is what it is.
But do you feel like getting drunk before a game is relaxing you? Like, what's your take on that?
Probably doesn't work. Clouded judgment. Hell, that's how. Sometimes I wonder if there's quarterbacks out there like Cutler that do that before they play with their interceptions.
Oh god! So away from that, so what are you looking to improve in your Bucks? And also, do you feel like you're a playoff team first year, being that you don't see yourself winning in the division?
Yes. I look at because if I'm going to make the playoffs, it's obviously going to be as a wild card since I have Profit winning the division. The one thing that really I think I got to find a way to cut down on turnovers late in games. The early turnovers I don't really care about because it's early in the game. You have plenty of time to make those up anyway. But it's the late ones. I've lost a lot of games because I turned the ball over on the last possession. The offensive line, really, I think that's the only glaring weakness. Safety is still manageable because Tandy is at least quick enough to be a free safety, and Evans is probably going to start over Conti anyway, so I can try to develop him. The offensive line, I can go as far as they'll take me. I got to be able to run the ball short yardage. I at least have to be able to help develop a play action with Martin and Rodgers in the backfield. I mean, Sims will get his playing time too. Yeah, I could see myself as a playoff team, and just the threat of having Evans and Howard out there. Deshaun obviously will get his looks too all over the place. I think we could be dangerous.
So do you feel like you had yourself sneaking into the playoff? Do you feel like this is the year that you finally could make it to a Super Bowl, being that your rival is packing back and headed over to the NFC?
There's still some demons that need to be gotten over. Because I believe I'm winless against you in the playoffs. I'm 0-2. Hodge, I've never played him in the playoffs, but I'm also 0-2 against him, though at least the last game was competitive to the end, so I was in the game for pretty much in the game the whole time. I was just trailing, but he was never able to pull away. And then, of course, V. I got to get over that mental block, too. So I'm very curious to see how the usering plays on defense, because I feel like that may help my cause a little. We'll see.
And one more question before I take you off the hot seat, because I tell you're sweating over there. Give me one guy that you look forward to playing with. Kind of like, it's a question you ask everybody. You're one breakout guy. You feel like he's going to have a key to your success in your first year.
That is an easy one. It will be my new Will Fuller. That will be Chris Godwin.
Oh, okay. Yep. I thought you were going to go OJ.
Nope. OJ, everyone knows what to expect from my tight ends. I throw to both.
Yep.
So that's not, it wouldn't change if I didn't have OJ, because I had Severian, Jenkins, and Brait last year, and I threw to both. Just he'll be faster, so he probably will draw a little more attention. It's going to be him for the reason of, obviously, Evans is going to be all over the field, as will Deshaun, and it's not just going to be streaks and, the deeper routes with those guys. They're going to run the route tree. Godwin is in the slot. He's fast, and he has the size. If he has a good season, that means that the ball is being spread around to help get him open. That means hopefully that I'll be having less interceptions with Jameis, because the ball won't being forced to certain players, not naming anyone, number 13. I think that would be a good sign of the offense just as a whole being a productive unit.
And now you're off the hot seat.
Nah, Debo will be DMing me later.
Good. I had to put that out there to make Debo mad. Was there anything else you wanted to say about Madden in general? Because I will say I watched some of the gameplay too. It looks great to me personally. It looks just graphic wise, and from what I see in the gameplay and the new aspects of, like you said, the target passing, the franchise improvement. To me, it looks great. I'm excited for it. I can't wait till it come out.
Yeah. Hopefully that feeling will still be the same a month after. That's usually the problem. But I have, from what I've seen last year, I really like the kicking. I think the lag didn't help it be as effective as it could be, because I didn't think kicks shouldn't be that easy in general.
It shouldn't, because there's people, they miss too much.
Yeah. I can attest with the Bucks. Mr. Robert, Mr. Unreliable. Hell, he might have been the guy that has to have a good season. His kick accuracy is 80. I'm surprised it was that high. So surprised he's on the roster. But I guess when you trade up to get him in the second round, you do what you can't really afford to cut him, because that probably gets you fired.
Why did you bring that up? Look at here. Now I gotta talk about it. Why did you trade up to get somebody that's going to be there? I don't even care that they took him in the first round. They had the balls to. You were so positive. You were so positive about him too.
Oh no, trust me. I was positive. I was positive in chat. I was not positive when watching the games. Like, every time this man went to kick a field goal, I just start leaning back in the couch. Everyone in the room is looking at me, and if he makes it, it's just a sigh of relief. Like, oh, thank you. If he misses it, it's just silence. I just put my head down, because I don't want anyone to, I'm just trying not to acknowledge anyone. Like, he pissed me off so much. But the thing is, you really can't let him go. You have to keep him.
You do.
The issue was,
what was your reaction? I want you to. Were you shocked that when they traded up? I know you thought they were going to get a skill position. When they said a kicker, you were okay with that? Given that they traded up, nobody's going to get him.
Well, we assumed no one was going to get him.
Don't you start with
I'm just saying, you assume no one's going to get him. The thing is, with the draft, I'm always I
go get your
wrong
guy.
or not, I'm like, if you see a guy that you want, you go get him, you make it happen.
Don't do this.
No, I'm serious. And the thing is, I don't care. The Bucks, me and you have talked about this. The Bucks the year before lost 4 games because of kicking. 4 games? You know what 4 games means? That means you make the playoffs. Their kicking game was unreliable. So you do what you have to do. So
traded up.
Hey, the Raiders drafted Janikowski in the first round, and he had a shit first season too, and everyone was judging them, and then things got better, obviously. Now, Robbie,
so
you need to be better this year.
How you feel next year if they draft the punter in the first round? So because this they gotta go get him.
And just go for it on 4th down at that point. No, but at least with him, I could understand because, he was quote-unquote the most accurate kicker in college football.
Yeah, he was.
But also have to factor in the uprights are wider too. But, I'm just I just wish he made more.
I actually don't have a problem with it. It's just funny. I got to troll about it because the second round doesn't get me. It's just hilarious to trade up. Because everybody fancies. I was even watching ESPN. People didn't even have anything to say. That was worse than one of Al Davis trade ups. So he can get his speed.
Yeah, if he's a kicker 10 years from now, then I'll be cool with it.
No, all jokes aside, but no, you're 100% right. One, I think he's going to be all right. I think he was nervous too. Like you said, you go
pressure being traded up for.
Because like you said, the Raiders kicker Janikowski, he had a terrible first year. Everybody was saying idiot Raiders are, and like you said, he turned out to be one of the best kickers in history. And people laugh at that, but it does make a big difference. Like you said, making those extra points or making those clutch field goals or those long field goals are the difference between a playoff team and a non-playoff team. Because they do cost you a lot of games. Like as you said, 4 games look lost because of kicking. Yep. So, even like we were talking in the past few podcasts, if you win the special teams phase, that's one phase you won, and you have an advantage. Because the person who won the special teams probably is going to win a game. Because that's one phase you just won. If you win another phase, you're more than likely going to win a game. Yep. Defense or offense.
That's why Hodge usually has a leg up on most of us, even if his offense, you said his offense wasn't that great. Or not that bad. Hodge said his offense isn't that great. But he's probably the best special teams player in the league, so you always come in knowing anytime I cross the 50, that's 3 points.
Yep.
I'm always a threat to run and kick back or punt back. When you have that, it makes the other phases a lot easier, less pressure.
Well, is there anything else you want to
add? Not specifically. I know the next division will be can we call it a division?
Is it the Ghost division?
Ghost and Company.
Okay, I got Ghost winning that division next. There's my number 1 already. Ain't no suspense in that one.
The best team with the best player? Yeah. I honestly don't even remember who took the other teams in that division. Like, that's like, once I saw Ghost take the Raiders, like, well, that's a lot.
I don't think anybody remember. No, you got
I honestly can't remember. I know Wasted got the Chargers because he's a Chargers fan. Well, he's going to be really disappointed because he's going to be taking ass whoopings from the Raiders every season.
And the 2 baseball guys, the Chiefs are
the Pirates guy.
And the Broncos are King Beard or Vintage or something.
Well, I know the guy that has the Chiefs gets frustrated in baseball, so I'm just going to say it's probably not going to help his Madden experience that Ghost is in his division. Because I see him in chat in baseball, and he gets frustrated about stuff that happens in the game, and I just like, yeah, I remember when he picked Kansas City. I'm like, oh, well, if you think that's bad, wait till you start playing Oakland or Vegas, whatever you want to call them. Hell, maybe we might have to put two divisions together. Yeah, we could, because the NFC North, like, no one cares about that division either, so we'll just lump them together. That should be a quick show.
The North. Okay. Let's see.
No, we'll spread them out.
Oh, God. Sean. You... Sean division.
Yep.
Sean, Dylan, Man, and JC Moore.
No, that actually will end up being a good division. I just give them shit because, you know, Dylan likes to pump himself up, so I usually just shoot him down. Like, that's just normally what I do in chat.
I got a surprise one. I think we're going to be different on that one. I think I know where you're headed, and I think I don't know. I'm not going that way.
Honestly, I haven't decided on that division yet. It might get me kicked out of Sticks Out, but that's okay. Like, I own it. I guess we'll see when that time comes. No, we'll do them separate. I feel like the AFC West anyway, more Madden stuff will be out by then, so it'll give us more time to talk about, but it'll probably be a short cast for sure.
I don't even know who to pick in that division. That division actually got a lot of good teams, but
I feel like it's the NFC version of the AFC East. Different styles, different teams.
I ain't seen two of them play. I like Wasted though. Wasted's pretty good. I was in his division the first year. He didn't play last year.
Yeah, him and Wolf. I used to love watching them argue in chat. Because they could never agree on times, because Wolf, his availability and Wasted's, Wolf's alleged availability and Wasted's availability didn't work out together, so it led to a lot of arguing and a lot of sim games. And a lot of anger on both sides. Like, I feel like I honestly think they don't, I can't remember. I feel like they just pretty much is like this, they would get a split in sims. Like, I feel like that's how it worked out.
I know one time I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to play Wolf in a game of Madden before I went to work. Because I don't know what happened that night. But what happened, Wolf got busy. He was at the grocery store. Whatever. I don't know. With his wife. I went to sleep. I actually got up. This is the crazy me. I actually got up for him at 5 o'clock in the morning and played him in a game of Madden. He called me on whatever, on the Discord, woke me up and everything. Didn't even brush my teeth. Turned right over. Got up. And played a game of Madden at 5 o'clock in the morning. Tell me I'm not dedicated to this league. 5 o'clock? How many people gonna do that? I think I'm one and only for Wolf. You're welcome, Wolf.
I still remember that. I'll just tell you straight out, I'm not doing it for Wolf. But I have one for you, and unfortunately it didn't end well. So I did actually miss the playoffs once last year. And it was sad because I think I started the season 3-1, and then next thing I know, I was 3-5. And yeah, that season, that was.
What year was this? I don't remember that year.
I think it was the second season. I think it was the second season, yeah, because Burn was talking shit.
Okay.
Actually, it might have been the third season. Because after I made the trade for Miller, like the season I traded for Miller and Fuller, I missed the playoffs. So, because it was around Christmas time, whatever season that was. So, I'm playing Silu that week. And he's like, I'm back in San Diego. Right before I left for Colorado for my vacation. And he works graveyards. And he's like, I can only play after I get off work. Like, well, that means, like, because of time difference, I got to get up early to play. Man. Yep. So I was mad as fuck because we agreed basically, like, okay, we're going to play, like, at my time, it's going to be 4 5:30 in the morning, and I still have the message on PSN that I messaged one of my friends because I was mad as hell. This man didn't show up till like 5:45. You want to talk about being mad? I was so fucking mad, and then I came out like being an ass playing. Like, I'm trying to run up the score. Like, I'm trying to make this game as unenjoyable as possible, and then I was throwing interceptions, so it was just making me madder. And I ended up winning the game, and then, basically when the game was over, I had to go to work. I was so tired. I was so grumpy that day. I think only maybe twice in my history of playing league games.
Interceptions.
Yeah, because I was, like, my friend was, like, messaging, like, dude, what are you doing up? And you're playing Madden? Why are you playing Madden? I'm like, I'm playing a league game. He's like, at this time, like, we were supposed to be done already. Like, he was supposed to be on at 4:30, and, like, he just went ghost. Straight up ghost. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me.
Oh, goodness. So you did do the same thing I did. You told us I'm not that bad and you would never do it. You did the exact. You actually stayed up from 4.
Well, if I had to go to work at that point, so it's like, what's the point of going to sleep now? I might not wake back up. So I'm just mad, and I'm just, doing whatever. Then you message like, hey, sorry, I'm late. Can you still play? I'm like, yeah. Like, everything is short answer. Good luck. I didn't even say good luck back. I'm like, nope. Let's just get this game over with.
You said I tried to run up the score and I was doing
I was so mad that day. Like, I know when I went to work, like, when I got home, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to my roommate's like, oh, what are you doing? Sleep. And like, that was it. Just went in the room, closed the door, locked the door, went to sleep.
That sounds like when I got mad at myself and I threw like 12 in the sections against Barrick. It was the funniest game because I kept yelling at myself. I really kept throwing interceptions. Like, fuck it, I'm going to throw another one.
Man, I will say one thing, though. One thing I will miss about this division. I'm probably going to post it. I'm sure Berm's going to hate it. That play. Like, that was the play. There were 2 plays on. Like, every big play that happened, I feel like, to help me win a game, happened against Berm, which is hilarious. So when I lost to Berm, other than one, and we won't talk about that one because we know the issues I had with that. Every other loss I had to him was a blowout, but every other close game I won. The very first game we played, I remember talking shit, like, I'm going to go, like, we're headhunting, we're going to take Julio out. First play of the game. A shoestring tackle by Alexander. And Julio was out for 5 weeks. And it messed me up because I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't concentrate because I was laughing so hard because I was like, I was just joking. But when he got injured, like, I seriously could not concentrate for the rest of the game because I was just cracking up because Berm was blowing up my PM with how pissed he was. And then in the playoffs, I don't know if people remember, but he missed the field goal because of the ice stick kicker. So I won that playoff game, and then when we played the next year in the playoffs, I admit he should have won. He got the first down that he needed like crap. Well, he's going to run the football. I believe I only had 1 timeout, and, it was the 2-minute warning already hit, so basically I'm going to get the ball back with like 40 seconds. So I'm going to have to go to the field, and I need a touchdown. Who would you believe would force a fumble? You want to talk about being so happy. The strip and the recovery, Levante David, and then Mike Evans with the touchdown with like 10 seconds left. So hopefully the Falcons can give me more interference like that. Because everything else was just blurry. It's just Jameis getting knocked down like in 2 seconds.
So Devo, you got high hopes. You gotta live up to the standards.
You better talk to Wolf. Find that play. I'll be waiting this time. Alright, I'm good. It should be a fun division, though. I like these guys. Debo's a character. Prophet is like pretty quiet in chat, but I've heard that he can be fun to play. I know nothing about the Saints guy, and he walks into an awkward situation. But you know what? Z-Flate did the same thing on last year's game, and I didn't know anything about Z-Flate. He was quick to remind me earlier that he still saw the article of when I had him finishing last. So you know what? He walked in with the worst team to pick as far as situation cap wise, and look what he did. So
yeah, hella good.
Yep. You never know how this new Saints will turn out. We'll see. He's definitely the question mark. I think we know what we expect out of the other three, but he is the question mark. Go Bucks. That's all I have.
You did pretty good in your own division. Well, I guess that ends our podcast for today.
Ghost. You're gonna have to fill time because we're gonna need 20 minutes. I feel like that division might be done in 5 minutes.
Oh man!
I actually now between tonight and Friday, I'm gonna have to take a hard look at those other guys because I need to know what they have. I mean, we all know Ghost has won that division. I need to see what the other three have. I honestly don't know. What the hell, man? But Sean, thank you for not choosing the Chiefs because I know we talk more during Madden because usually we'll be able to we'll be on the phone during our game sometimes. I didn't want to have to be on the phone with him playing Ghost twice. Because I can't even give him any advice. I have none.
Oh god, you and Ghost are the worst.
And I'm just gonna address something that Pat asked earlier. It's about me picking myself to win a division, and then I'll call it quits. There's a difference between being objective and being confident. Do I think I can win a division? Sure, of course I do. I won the division, 4 out of 5 years on Madden 16, and I was in the playoffs. I won the division, I think just once on Madden 17, but I made the playoffs, 3 out of the 4 seasons. So it's not that I don't feel confident that I can win the division. It's just when you really look at the team and your play style, you just being objective. Everybody has stuff that they can work on. Yes, even Ghost, even Hodge. No one is perfect on Madden, and everyone still, everyone strives to get better, whether it be making better reads, being a better play caller, better GM, whatever it is. I know what my faults are, so I got to work on those. So until I do, that's what you get. And that's all.
You did not have to address Pat.
I do.
Can't just be talking.
Yeah, he's going to pick himself to win a division. Because even at work, they're like, oh, so you're doing your division today. It's so Tampa Bay in first? I'm like, nope. I'm like, yeah, right, you're full of shit. I'm like, I mean, it's not like I'm going to try not to win a division, but it's just being honest. The faults that I have, that is the team. Because I've always struggled playing against Carolina. In every league that I've ever been in, I struggle against Carolina because they are built to play against me. So it is always a challenge, and if you give a good owner to that team, it's tough. It really is. So that was by far, before you even asked that question, it's something I thought about. They were the team I was most concerned about in the division because I need to see who got them. Didn't care who got the Falcons because it's Julio Jones. Julio's going to do what Julio's going to do. It's the other guys you have to stop. But the Panthers have a really interesting team, and I needed to know who got them. Shit, Prophet got them. But cool. So, I don't know. Friday, Saturday, doesn't matter to me. Can't do tomorrow. For reasons I said before the stream, Thursdays are my out day. Thursday might be my date night of the week.
So Friday, Saturday.
Truth is funny. He remembers what I said earlier. Like, if you can stop Vic, you can damn sure stop Cam. Because I did say I wasn't scared of 04 Vic. And it's not even so much Cam that I'm scared of. It's the defense. It's never the offense. With the Panthers, it's the defense, because if you can't run and you have to pass the ball a lot in long situations, not necessarily passing the ball a lot. I'm fine with passing the ball a lot. I mean, you know how I am, Peanut. Like, our games usually turn into pass fest. We both pass. It is what it is. I have my moments where Hodge gets on me all the time, like, you pass too damn much, you need to run the ball more. That's part of your problem. This is the team that you can't do that against. This is definitely the team that you will see me being closer to 50-50, because I'm not trying to put Jameis in 3rd and long. If it's 2nd and 6, I'm running the ball to try to make it 3rd and 4. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with punting. I do not want to be in 3rd and 8 or more against this team. Alright, go ahead and cut it. Thanks, Peanut. Sorry that I woke up late. The medication is having me being silly.
You're fine.